This is today's meetup, October the 3rd, 2020. And this one's basically going to have a far stronger vocabulary focus. Last time we were looking at the grammatical implications of various different future forms and their associated functions. And I left you with a little bit of a homework. So I'm going to spend the first few minutes going through that homework, which obviously, Jie Ying, you weren't here, but I think it might be useful for you just to recap on the kind of themes that we looked at last time. Okay. So, Masiek, I left you with a couple of these practice exercises. Don't worry if you've done them or not, because we're going to do them now live, okay? So, if you remember, we were choosing between three different forms. Will, the present continuous, going to, and the past simple. Okay, so and we're going to do all of these verbally. So, Masiek, if you'd like to start us off, please read number one.
We don't know. We don't have any bread. I know. Get some from the shop. I know. I'm going to get some from the shop.
Okay. Jie Ying, would you agree?
Yes, I'm going to get some from the shop.
Okay. Why would you make that choice?
Because that is the things that will happen in the future, not now.
Oh, I wish you'd been here last week, Jie Ying. I wish you'd been here last week, because you'll find it a little more complex than that. Okay. Masiek, please give me your answer.
We use going to because I know there is no bread, so I can predict that.
Oh. You're getting a little bit confused between two different ideas. The answer is correct. I'm going to get some. But
I know the result is like maybe that way.
No, it's because
there's no bread.
it's because he already decided that he was going to get some bread before he spoke about getting some more bread.
Yeah.
Okay. If you remember, what we said was, it makes no difference the time between deciding what to do and doing it. This interval makes no difference at all. What makes a difference is the interval between deciding to do something and speaking about doing it. If we contrast it with the next example, please read Jie Ying.
We don't have any bread. Really? Okay. Let's get some from the shop then.
Oh, no. Masiek, please.
We don't have any bread. Really? Okay, I'll get some from the shop then.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, because here he's saying, I know. I know. So I've already decided that I'm going to get some from the shop.
So in the
second example, this is new information. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, we don't have any bread. I'll get some from the shop. So he's deciding to go to the shop and speaking about going to the shop at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes?
So there's some difference between I will and I'm going to do something, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And we're contrasting three different things here. The will future, the present continuous future, which is sometimes expressed as going to, and the present future. Okay, so Masiek, number 3, please.
Why do you need to borrow my suitcase? Visit my mother in Scotland next May. I'm going to visit my mother in Scotland next month.
Okay, why?
Because we know this is gonna happen in next month.
Let's not worry about what we know. It's more about what he knows.
Because he already decided that before the happening.
Of course. Because if he's asking to borrow someone's suitcase,
He knows that.
Yeah, it's because in his mind, he's already made a decision to visit his mother in Scotland next month. Again, it's irrelevant whether he goes to Scotland today or tomorrow or next month or next year. Actually, going to Scotland makes no difference to the grammar. The time when he goes to Scotland makes no difference to the grammar. The difference in the grammar is whether he's deciding to do something and speaking at the same time, or whether he's speaking about something which he already decided beforehand. Okay? Jie Ying, are you clear with that?
Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to do something means that I have decided to do something. Like, I already know that it will
I've
happen.
decided to do it before I choose to speak about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I will means
So
That
it's like
I'm speaking and deciding at the same time. Okay. So, Jie Ying, give me number 4, please.
I'm really cold. No problem. I will turn the heating on.
Okay, right. So, okay, Jie Ying, first of all, pronunciation. We have to work on your L sound.
Okay.
L. Okay.
L.
So, it's no problem.
No problem.
No, you're saying no problem. Yeah.
No problem.
L. No
Lot.
problem.
No problem. No
No
problem.
problem.
No problem. Like,
Okay. Really, we need to get you working on some pronunciation drills. Okay.
okay.
Pronunciation drills that specifically address particular phonemic problems. Okay, so we need to have you practicing things such as red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry. Yeah.
Okay. Problem.
We'll discuss that later. Okay. Maciek, we need to get you practicing things like very weird.
very weird.
Yeah, very weird.
Very weird.
Yeah, again, we've got separate pronunciation exercises that we do for separating your v and w. Okay. Also, you need to work very strongly on your schwa, because it's not Scotland, it's Scotland.
Scotland. Okay.
Scotland. Maciek?
Scotland.
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 Good, much better. Much better. Okay.
Not Scotland, it's Scotland.
Yeah, not Scotland, it's Scotland.
Scotland. Right.
Yes, we call this this sound the schwa. As I've said before, it's the most important sound in the English language.
Sure,
This
yeah.
is the sound at the beginning of a go and agree.
Yeah, go home. Yeah, that one.
Yes, it's the sound at the end of teacher and computer.
So how would American person say Scotland? Scotland. Same? Same way? Or no?
No, well, Americans are weird, aren't they? They say like Scotland. You know. But also remember, there isn't one American accent, is there? Some Jewish lawyer from New York doesn't speak the same as some hillbilly pig farmer in the Appalachian Mountains. Yeah. They have an enormous number of different kinds of accents in America.
Yeah, it's a huge country.
I mean, some things are characteristic of most of America. One of them is using what we call the rhotic R. So they say car, as opposed to when I say car. And that is what we call the rhotic R. But there are areas of the northeast of America, what we call New England, Massachusetts, Boston, places like that, where they don't use a rhotic R.
Because I think there was a huge influence of Irish and Scottish people over there, so maybe that's
Well, yes, there were, but also that was the original place where basically English people arrived.
Yeah.
So they've kept a much stronger kind of connection with, English also doesn't use a rhotic R, basically, yeah. But if you contrast to the way they speak in the deep south of America, with the very long vowels I know, I ain't going. These very long vowels. That's a completely different phonemic structure altogether. But anyway, let's not get into American pronunciation because basically it's wrong. Okay. So, once again, please, number 4, Jiying. Again, please, number 4.
I'm really cold. No problem. I will turn the heating on.
Okay. I'll turn the heating on.
I'll.
Okay. Now, one more thing that we must always remember is when we have a contraction, we must never, ever, ever leave a space between the contraction and the next word. So we can't say, I'll turn the heating on. You say, I'll turn the heating on. Not I'll turn the heating on, but I'll turn the heating on. Again, please.
I'll turn the heating on.
Perfect.
I'll turn.
Excellent. And that's the same with every single contraction, not only this one. I can't say, I'm Dave, I'm from London. I say, I'm Dave from London.
Okay.
Yeah. He's Maciek from Poland, not he's Maciek from Poland. He's Maciek from Poland. Every contraction. Okay. Yes. So here, perfect example. I'm really cold. Oh, no problem. I'll turn the heating on. This person didn't realize their friend was cold a moment ago. As soon as they find out that their friend is cold, they decide to turn the heating on and they announce the fact that they're turning the heating on at the same time. I'll turn the heating on. Okay. Maciek, number 5.
Kick off at 3 p.m. So it's a present simple. This is
yes.
So nothing we can change.
Yeah, but we need to add a verb.
Oh yeah.
Because here, kick-off is a noun.
Yeah,
So
kick-off.
A noun, preposition, and a time expression. We need to have a verb.
Kick-off starts at 3 p.m.
No, kick-off doesn't start. How long does kick-off last? Kick-off is only one kick. It can't start and end. It's a single moment. Which verb do we need?
Because for me, kick-off is like start the game.
Yeah, so the game starts at 3 p.m., but kickoff doesn't start at 3 p.m.
Let me figure it out.
Jay, you have a suggestion?
Kickoff is at 3 p.m.
Yes. What's that? Kickoff?
Oh yeah, so now
At 3 p.m.
Because we can say kickoff as a verb, or not?
No, kickoff is a noun.
It's a noun.
Kickoff is describing the thing that happens at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the obvious thing. Yeah, you can see on Sky the kickoffs. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it might be better if you just believe me rather than asking Skype to confirm my conclusions. But yes, okay, fair enough. So.
I mean Sky.
I know you mean Sky.
No, I didn't mean Skype. I mean Sky.
Yeah, Sky TV.
Yeah, they're saying kickoff is or something like.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so why are we using the present simple, not the present continuous?
Because this didn't. We can't change the time. Someone else is decided.
Okay. Yes, it's because it's a future that is based on a timetable or schedule that we didn't play any part in creating.
That way.
Yeah. You can decide that you go to the shop to get some bread, but you don't decide that kickoff is at 3 p.m. You can decide whether you're in the football stadium at that time, but the match is going to start anyway, whether you're there or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Understand, Jayan?
Yes.
Good. Okay. One more. Ji-Ying, next one, please.
Okay. Are you going to John's party tonight? Yes, are you going to? I'll give you a lift.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, okay, beg your pardon. I already put the answer in with that one. Terribly sorry. When I was giving it for homework, I kind of removed the answers, but I'm sorry, I left the answer in for that one. So yes, I'll give you a lift. Okay. I'll give you a lift. Oh, sorry, no, you. Are you going to? I'll give you a lift. Yeah, okay. Once again, it's new information. Yeah, sorry, I didn't notice the thing there. Okay.
So I have a question. So what does he mean by saying that I will give you a lift?
Aha. Okay, so to give someone a lift means I will drive you in my car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. And also, it's part of the meaning is I'll do it for free. Yeah, it's what you say to a friend. A taxi doesn't give you a lift to the party.
Okay.
A taxi, you take a ride in a taxi to the party. Giving a lift is the same as it's only used with friends. It's when you offer to help someone by taking them to the party. Yeah, it's not a commercial venture. It's not something that you charge money for. It's not your job.
It's kind of favor, isn't it?
It's a favor, yes, indeed. In much the same way that if I say I can put you up for the weekend, it means I can let you stay in my home. So if you're visiting London, I can say, oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah, when you come, I can put you up, meaning I can let you stay in my apartment for the weekend. But I'm not charging you money. I'm not a hotel. It's not even Airbnb. It means I'm offering as a favor to allow you to stay because I regard you as a friend. Okay. A hotel doesn't say I can put you up from the 25th to the 29th. Okay. They can provide accommodation. Okay, so you see that kind of difference, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Number 6, please, Masiek.
What are your plans after you leave university? I'm going to work in a hospital in Africa. I leave on the 28th.
Good. Okay. So, I'm going to work in a hospital in Africa. Obviously, she's already decided that because she knows the date that she's going to leave on. This is not a new plan. It's not a new decision she's just made. She's decided this in advance before she's chosen to tell her friend. Okay? Ji-Ying, we're clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me number 7, please.
Okay. The phone rings. I'll get it.
Ring.
I'll get it.
Yeah, okay. I'll get it. Why not? I'm going to get it.
Because this is a new things. Like.
Yes, you didn't know the phone was going to ring in 5 minutes' time, so you're not psychic. Yeah. Well, maybe if you are psychic, if you have special telepathic abilities, the phone will ring in 10 minutes and I'm going to get it.
Okay.
But that's a rather unusual situation, so I don't think we need to concern ourselves with that. Okay, Masiek.
Are you ready to order? Okay. I have the steak, please.
Good. Yeah, are you ready to order? Okay. I'll have the steak. Clearly, he's thinking about it here.
At the moment.
Then he's making the announcement exactly at the same time as he decides he's going to have the steak. Okay. And finally, Ji-Ying.
Are you busy tonight? Fancy a coffee? Sorry, I'm going to the library.
Good. Okay. Cool. This is a dedicated, committed student who's already decided in advance that they're not going to waste their evening sitting around drinking coffee, chatting with friends. They're going to go to the library and they're going to do their homework. Okay? Yes, everyone clear?
Yes.
Oh,
Can I say fancy a beer or something else like fancy coffee?
fancy you can use with anything at all. Do you
Okay.
fancy going away for the weekend?
So
Do you fancy taking a bicycle ride? Do you
So, like-
fancy a movie tonight?
is it fancy is like a weak form of want, something like that?
No, it's okay. It has two very different. Well, it has, like most words in English. It has very many different meanings in different contexts.
Yeah.
Okay. In this instance, it's a informal, casual, friendly way of saying, "Would you like to?"
Yeah, that would be like.
Okay.
Would you like to have a coffee? Would you like to see a movie? Would you like to go fishing? Would you like to? You can also use it sometimes for asking a favor. Yeah, you can say things like, "Do you fancy giving me a hand this weekend? You know, I need to paint my bedroom. Do you fancy giving me a hand?" But you would only say that with someone who's a very, very, very good friend. Yeah.
But we also can say fancy as you go fancy dress, something like this. Or
Okay, so yeah,
different
this is
meanings.
very widely understood. Fancy dress doesn't mean wearing a shirt and a tie and a suit. Fancy dress means dressing up like Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like Julius Caesar.
Or
So wearing a costume, as you might do at Halloween. So when you dress up as a
Okay.
killer or a zombie, you're in fancy dress. If you wear a three-piece suit and a tie, you're not in fancy dress, you're in formal dress. Yeah. Okay. Also, the verb to fancy can be a way of describing your feelings about someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're a student, for example, and you spend a lot of time with this other student of the opposite sex or the same sex, if that's your preference, your friend might say, "Oh, hang on, do you fancy them?" And you say, "No, no, 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 they're just friends. No, 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 I don't fancy them. I just, I think they're a very nice person and they're very interesting and I enjoy studying with them. But I don't fancy them," because the fancying part means there's something more. There's a romantic interest as well as the kind of what we can separate between a romantic interest and a platonic interest.
So I can say
Interest is where you think someone's a great person, you think they're very kind, they're sensible, they're intelligent, but you don't have any strong
Chemistry with them.
romantic feeling for them. Sorry?
No,
So-
I
Did you ask a question?
go on.
could I say like to my friend, control your fancy, or you go crazy?
No, you couldn't say that. No. Because to fancy is a verb.
Can we use as a noun, as an imagination or something like this?
No.
Really?
Okay. In very, very old English. Not very, very old English. In the English of perhaps the 19th century. So the time, in Victorian English, if you're thinking of writers such as Lewis Carroll, Charles Dickens, that kind of period, there's a couple of idioms which persist from that time. So we do talk of things like flights of fancy.
Flights of fancy.
Flights, oh, Jay Ying, your L sound again. Flights of fancy.
Okay.
Flights of fancy. So that means, when you let your imagination just run mad, when you just let yourself sit and just daydream, just run off into any kind of direction. Yeah, these are flights of fancy. Okay. But then also, fancy can also be an adjective. meaning very intricate, with very much ornament, adornment. Okay, so I like plain shirts. Okay, I like shirts generally that are just one color, black or white or blue, occasionally green, but normally just black or white or blue or gray. Okay, I don't like shirts with lots of flowers on them or stripes or intricate patterns. That to me looks too fancy. Yeah, which means too much detail, too many decorations, too much ornamentation. Okay? Right, so now we're going to move on to really the topic of today's meetup. Okay? I've got two more exercises based on those futures, which I'll include in this presentation at the end. So if you'd like a little bit more practice with that, you can try those two. But we won't cover them in today's meet because we've got a lot of new material that we want to cover. Okay? So the topic of today's meetup has got a far stronger vocabulary bias. Okay? We're going to be looking at various expressions that we can use to describe the concept of change. So we're going to be looking at some collocations with words to do with change. Maciek, please remind me what I mean by the term collocations.
Collocations like connections? Something? No.
Kind of. Jie-Ying, do you know the term collocations?
No, I have no idea about it.
I mean, sometimes you can use the word like find. I know that particular example, like how did you find out living in London? This is.
Stop, Maciek, no. Okay, that's completely the wrong phrasal verb.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't say how did you find out living in London. You say how did you find living in London. Find out means to discover. Okay, so you might say, how did you find out your wife was having an affair with another man?
Yeah, but could I use this as a collocation?
No, 100% not. No. Collocation is the principle that regardless of their meaning, some words naturally fit together in a language and some words don't. So for example, we can have thick fog and we can have heavy rain. We can't have thick rain.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Now there's no reason why we shouldn't have. I mean, if it's raining very, very heavily, as it was this morning, if you put your hand out of the window, the rain is coming down very thickly. There's a great deal of rain coming down. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to describe that as thick rain, but it doesn't collocate. For some reason, in order to sound natural in a language, there are certain combinations of words that you need to choose, and there's certain collocations that just don't fit. Okay.
So can I say it's soaked through, something like this? This is this kind of connection?
No, you would say I was soaked through.
Yeah, I was soaked through, yeah.
Yeah, or my coat was soaked through. But it has to be a thing which was soaked through. The rain itself wasn't soaked through.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, so let's begin, then we'll see what I mean as we're going along. Okay, so. Okay, now. We've got several sentences here. Okay. And here are some words, all of which describe kind of a change. Okay. But they describe specific kinds of change in specific contexts. We can't use these different words for change interchangeably. Just because one particular word works doesn't mean that all of the other words will work in the same sentence. So part of making our English sound more fluent and more natural is choosing these correct combinations. Okay, so let's first of all look at the pronunciation of the words. What's the first word?
Amend.
Okay, now be very careful. This is the schwa at the beginning, so it's not amend, it's amend.
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 Not Amend.
Amend.
Good. Masiek?
Amend.
Good, perfect. What's the next word?
Transform.
Transform.
Good. Okay, you both did that correctly. Always, with a compound noun, we always, and this is another difference between English and American English, is that in English, we always choose to put the stress on the first half of the compound. So we don't say transform, we say transform.
Transform.
Good.
Transform.
Okay. Now, what's the next word?
Order.
Oh.
Alter.
Uh-huh.
Alter. Or
Jane,
Order.
again, please.
Order.
Again,
Alter.
please. I can't hear. Again, please.
Alter. Alter.
Okay, so this is alter.
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 Yeah. Okay, so even though it begins with an A, we don't use the schwa at the beginning. We use the op sound. If I show you on my phonemic chart.
So it's a long. Oh, wait.
No, it's a short vowel. It's this vowel here. Op.
Oh.
Op. Alter.
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 No. Okay. Remember, if the phonemic symbol has the two dots after it, then we make it long. Okay, so this is and o and ah and e and oo. But here, this sound has no dots. So it's a straight op in the way that we say stop, clock, watch, hot. Repeat after me. Stop.
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 Hot.
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 Clock.
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 Watch.
What?
Watch.
What?
Good. Okay.
Watch.
Yes. Good. Okay. So the first vowel is this, alter, and the second vowel is the schwa. Alter.
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 Okay. Marcia, be careful you don't make it long. Not alter, but just alter.
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 Good. Okay. And with a different spelling, we have the same sound. Altar is that big table in a church.
Oh yeah.
The church, yeah. But not only a church, usually a church in a Christian country, but you also have an altar in various religious buildings. Kind of a table that is used for religious purposes. Altar. But that's spelled A-L-T-A-R, not E-R. However, the pronunciation is the same. Okay, what's the next word?
Mutate.
Mutate.
Okay, good. So, mutate.
Mutate.
Yes, okay. So, with this, we have to add an intrusion sound, which is y. So it's not mutate, but mew.
Mew.
Yeah,
Mutate.
Tate.
Tate.
And
Mutate.
this vowel is not, in fact, a vowel. It's a diphthong. It's this one here. 8. Mutate. Yeah? Okay. And then finally, okay, what's this word?
Adapt.
Adapt.
Okay, Right. So
The schwa, is it?
this one, it's a schwa at the beginning. Okay. So it's not adapt, it's adapt.
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 Adapt. Oh,
Adapt.
When we have the schwa at the beginning, we can almost not hear it at all. Yeah? Adapt.
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 Good. Okay. Excellent. Cool. So, Jie Ying, please read the first sentence for me.
Okay. The good thing about children is that they adapt easily to new environments.
Okay. Do you agree, Maciek?
Uh, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, it took you a while to think about it, but we got there in the end. Yes. Cool. Okay. So, what kind of things? What's specific about the concept of adaptation? About adapting to things?
It's getting used
makes
to
it
the
suitable.
thing very easy.
Well, obviously, all of these mean a kind of change, but what's very specific about adapting?
It's like adapting is like,
To a new environment, like
let's say you're going to the different country and you have to adapt the rules of the country in order to live.
Yes.
Okay, I'm kind of asking what's kind of more fundamental about the idea of adapting to something, which means it's different from transforming or mutating or amending.
You have to be flexible that way.
Okay. Let me give you a little bit more of an explanation then. Basically, when we adapt something, it tends to be that we don't change the essential characteristics of that thing.
Yeah.
We change how those characteristics are used. Okay. So, for example, if I were lost on a desert island, okay, with very few tools, maybe I have an axe, but I don't have a hammer. So if I have to knock in some nails to build my little treehouse, I can adapt the axe to use it as a hammer. I don't really need to change the axe very much. Perhaps I just have to put something on the sharp part to stop me from cutting my hand. But I can be using that for a new purpose. I can be using it in a new way without really changing the nature of the axe. It's still an axe. Similarly, the children are still children. We don't have to physically change the children at all, but they can change the way they live, the way they act in certain situations. So it's a change, but it's to do with a change in behavior, a change in function, a change in use, rather than a change of physical characteristics. Or rather, without a change in the essential, intrinsic physical characteristics. Perhaps we add something on, perhaps we take something off, perhaps we bend something, but the overall essential characteristics remain the same. Yeah, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Number 2. Who's next? Maciek.
I took the code.
No, okay. We don't say I took, we say I took.
I took.
No, not oo, not took. Okay, back to the phonemic chart. We don't say oo, not took. We say took.
So it's a short oo then.
No, it's like a dead oo.
Took.
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 The same sound as in could, should, would, book, foot.
Oot.
Yeah. I always say it's important sound. Probably it'll be the last sound you ever make in your life. When you die, you'll go
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took
Took. Good. That's much better.
I took.
No. No. Ooh. No. Took. Took.
I took.
Took.
I'm going down with the sound then.
Yes, absolutely. It's almost the opposite of this sound. This sound goes up. This is the sound that gives us cup, up, cut, blood, money, sun, It goes up, up, up. Okay, this goes could, should, would. Could, should, would.
Should.
Okay. Maybe we need a separate exercise on that at some stage in the future. Okay, but I'll keep reminding you on the way. Okay, so I took the coat.
I took the coat back to the shop to have it altered.
Pronunciation. You've got the right word.
Altered.
Altered.
Yeah.
No. Altered. Good.
Altered.
Excellent. Okay, that's much better. Much better pronunciation. Okay. So we have it altered.
Altered.
Yeah. What do you think's happened to the coat?
Need to be a bit shortened or something.
Yes. We've either made it a little bit shorter or a little bit longer, or we've made the sleeves a little bit shorter. Yeah. So it tends to be, when something's altered, we mean we make it more suitable for us. Yeah.
So can we say it has to be adjusted to us? No.
Oh, yes. Okay. So now, this is a perfect example of what we mean by collocation. Okay. Because what was the word you just adjusted? Okay. The intrinsic meaning of the term adjusted and altered is exactly the same. They refer to exactly the same process. But however, from a collocation point of view, if you're talking about a coat, you would say altered. If you were talking about a machine, you would say adjusted.
Yeah. Adjusted. Because in Polish language, you use one word for the same thing, like, adjusted. So if you translated this, it's like we don't need extra word for that.
Oh, my friend, you've hit the nail on the head there. Okay. As we've said before, there's no such thing as an easy language and a difficult language. Yeah, okay. Right. Every language has some things which are challenging and some things which are easy. The grammar of English is comparatively easy. It's more complex than the grammar of Chinese, but it's much, much, much less complex than the grammar in Latin-based languages such as Italian, Spanish, French, and 100 times easier than Slavonic languages like Russian, Polish, Czech, Bulgarian, etc.
The English vocabulary is so expanded.
That's it. Yeah. The real challenge. There's two major challenges in English. One is that we don't write phonemically. So you can never guess the pronunciation of an English word. If we look here, we've got alter and adapt, but they both begin with the same letter, and amend. They begin with the same letter, but that same letter is pronounced differently in the different words. That's the first challenge. Okay. The second challenge is just the size of the vocabulary. Not only has English got the largest vocabulary in the world, it's actually got almost twice as many words as the second largest. So there's no other language even comes close. The second largest vocabulary is only about half the size of English. Wow. And English people tend to use a lot of the words. Not everyone has the same size vocabulary. Obviously, I'm relatively well educated. I've been teaching English for a long time, so my vocabulary is very, very large. But even normal English people, the people who work in a pub or work as a farmer or a fisherman or something, they're quite happy to say something's big, large, huge, enormous, and vast. all of which mean big. I could add lots of other ones, gargantuan, blah, 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 blah. We could add very many more. But even a normal, not particularly well-educated English person will quite happily use 8 or 9 different words for big. Whereas, you know, if you speak to a Dutch person, basically everything that's big is groter. Everything that's small is kleiner. They basically have 2 words. They have 1 word for big, 1 word for small. Of course, if you look at Dutch poetry and Dutch literature, you will find that they do have other expressions meaning large and small, but they're never used in everyday conversation. Whereas a normal English guy in the pub will say, "Oh my God, that was massive, that. It was huge." And he'll also say big and large and several other ones as well. That's the problem, basically.
Yeah, you spot on that, because I've noticed that Polish people, they saying always big as a duży, and they use all the same words everywhere. But
Yes, well, I spent a
words.
little bit of time in the Czech Republic. Basically, everything is either velký or malý.
Yeah.
Basically, whether it's a beer or whether it's a high street or whether it's a city or, you know, the infinite, the size of a planet, doesn't matter. It's either velký or malý, basically. Yeah. And to be honest, even in Chinese, basically things tend to be either da or xiao.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much everything. Yeah. Okay, so number 3, please.
Okay.
That's you, isn't it? G?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The design proposals were unpopular and only accepted in an amended form. I'm not sure.
Well, okay. So, first of all, pronunciation, Jaying, yeah,
Yeah.
it's popular.
Popular.
No, not popular. Yeah, popular.
Popular.
No, you're making it a little bit more complex than it is. It's very simple. Just popular.
Popular.
Pop.
Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
L.
L.
Pop. Yeah. L.
Okay. Popular.
Good.
Oh.
Popular.
Popular.
Yay! 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 Okay.
Okay.
Yes, perfect. Popular. And again, it has that intrusion. Yeah. So we add a sound which is not represented by any of the letters, which is a y. Yeah. It's a pop y l.
Popular.
No, not popular. Pop y l with a schwa. Popular.
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 Another 2 schwas. Pop y l.
Popular.
Not you. Pop y l.
Popular.
Yes. Okay. Again, maybe at some time we'll have a pronunciation lesson based around the vowels. Yeah. Okay. So we've had a suggestion for amended form. What would you say? Do you agree, Maciek, or not?
Yes, I would agree that way.
Okay. Excellent. Amended. Okay. So amended tends to be the word that we use when we're talking about changes to things like rules or conditions or laws. If you look at a lot of these crazy guys in America, or these kind of white supremacists and all these kind of like mad hillbillies, they're always screaming about their Second Amendment rights. Yeah. What's the Second Amendment of the American Constitution?
Freedom of speech, is it? No.
No. The Second Amendment is the freedom to carry guns.
Oh yeah, that's
all these white supremacists and all these crazy kind of hillbillies, you know, who are not content to simply carry a pistol. They want to be able to carry or an assault rifle that fires like 1,000 rounds a second and stuff. You know what I mean?
Something like this.
Which is clearly not what the Second Amendment was meant to cover. When the Second Amendment was made, you had a musket, yeah, which you could fire once every 2 minutes, yeah, as opposed to a machine gun that you could but they still claim that this is a right, okay? Or in detective movies, you'll always hear people saying that they're going to plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth.
Pleading the fifth. It always, if you watch any of these American cop shows, when they're interviewing a suspect, they say, so did you commit this murder? And they say, I'm pleading the fifth. And the Fifth Amendment means that you have the right to refuse to answer questions on the grounds it may incriminate you.
So it's like when police interview the suspect, they can say, no comment, is it?
Yes, exactly that. Yeah. Which is why you'll hear the police in both Britain and America, they use very similar words. When they arrest you, they say, you have the right to remain silent.
Yeah.
If you do remain silent and then later rely on the information in court, it may affect your defense, but you do have the right to remain silent if you want to take that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I mean. So when we amend things, it tends to be, we use it when we're talking about a set of rules or a set of laws or some set of strict restrictions. When we change those, we amend them. But when we amend them, it doesn't mean that we cancel the old rule. It means we keep the old rule, but we add some,
we just touch
extra way of, yeah, we improve them. We make it better in some way.
So this word is quite popular used in House of Commons or Parliament.
Absolutely, yes. When we introduce a bill into the House of Parliament, other MPs can vote on an amendment.
Yeah.
And the amendment means that we don't just throw out the old rule, we don't just cancel it, we keep that rule, but we say, okay, however, in certain circumstances, we may wish to do this. We add more details, we add more exceptions. Yeah, so you might say, this law still stands, but okay, if you're under 18,
it might be
then maybe not, or blah, 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 yeah. But we keep the essential basis of the law, but we add some extra parts, or sometimes we take some parts out. Yeah. Okay. I think we're back to you, Maciek, aren't we? Yes.
Yes. These bacteria have mutated into forms that are resistant to certain drugs.
Excellent. Okay. Let me point out just a slight tangent. Why do we say these bacteria?
Because
not this bacteria.
Because it's an we can't. It's a Latin word, is it?
It is Latin. Yeah. Yes, it is Latin. Okay, it's not uncountable. It's a countable noun, but this is the plural form.
Yeah.
What is the singular?
Bacterius?
No, bacterium.
Bacterium, yeah.
Bacterium.
You have one bacterium and two bacteria. Okay. The reason why you almost never hear the word bacterium is because
there's no one.
It's
in practical terms, you never find one. Yeah, there are billions of these things all over the place. Yeah.
Can we say like the specific bacteria? Like
no, you would say a specific bacterium.
Yeah, a specific bacterium. Yeah.
Specific.
Yeah, there are lots of words like that in English. Some of which are often misused. So you'll hear lots of people these days talking about referendums.
Yeah, referenda.
Yeah, it should be, yes, indeed, referenda. You have one referendum, two referenda. And even you hear people talk about sports stadiums. Yeah, like Highbury,
stadiums.
Upton Park, etc. are two stadiums. They're not. They're two stadia. One stadium, two stadia.
Tuesday.
Yeah, but that's me being very, very pedantic. Actually, most people these days have forgotten that, and they usually say stadiums. If you want to be very, very correct, very, very precise, it should be stadia.
Stadia or Stadia.
Okay. So, yes, they've mutated.
Hopefully, coronavirus won't mutate it so fast.
No. Hopefully it will. In fact, it already has done. And it's a good, because what tends to happen is when a new bacterium evolves, its first form is very, very deadly.
Yeah.
Kills its host. But when you think about it, that's not good from the bacterium's point of view. Because if you die, it dies.
Yeah. So they have to carry on.
Yeah. So as it evolves, it gets less and less harmful, which is why we have the common cold. There's very little difference between the common cold and corona. The difference is we've had the common cold for many thousands of years. So it's evolved into a form that it infects you, but it makes sure you don't die. Because if you don't die, you stay alive and you can give it to lots of other people. So it can continue to live. Once you're dead, that's it. Your particular bacterium is also dead.
So this is why they try to even with Ebola, they try it to just eliminate the spot of the outbreak because it was quite deadly, but it wasn't not so what's the word? Wasn't so
deadly.
Yeah, it was deadly, but it wasn't so didn't spread up so quickly. So that's why we eliminated Ebola. Yeah.
And this is why, to be honest, Boris Johnson's first instinct when this virus came out was to say what we need to go for is herd immunity, basically. We should just basically accept that some people are going to die, predominantly very, very old people and people who've got asthma and diabetes and things will die, but everyone else will eventually get it. Some people will be really quite sick at first, but they'll probably survive. And then most of us will be only a little bit sick. And then next year and the following year and the following year, when it comes out, probably we'll all get it, but it's like catching the common cold or catching flu. We just live with it. That was his first instinct. And not all the scientists, there's lots of scientists, not just crazy guys on YouTube. I mean, proper Nobel Prize winning epidemiologists who say the same thing. And there's more and more and more of them all the time. But these couple of bloody scientists like Chris Whitty, who I call Chris Half-Witty, and this Valence, who we call totally imbalanced, they said, oh my God, no, that's a terrible thing, that's a terrible thing. Everybody went on Twitter saying, oh my God, no, you're going to put the whole country at risk, we're all going to die. And so they followed this stupid bloody process of lockdowns, etc. And it's been a complete and utter waste of time.
Because at the end of the day, they can't
fight a bloody
this disease, and they can't save everyone.
Of course not. So look, people are going to die. It's part of life.
Yeah, possibly.
For new people to be born, we need people to die. It's just part of it's part of the circle of life, as we'd say in Buddhism.
Yeah. Human.
Yeah. Do you know at the moment, coronavirus is the 24th most likely cause of death. Yeah, there are 24 other diseases that you're more likely to die of in Britain today than corona. Yeah, if we look at what's happening in the universities, they're saying hundreds of people are testing positive.
Trump.
literally, that's you have to test them in order to tell them that they've been infected. They don't even know. Well, what's the problem with the disease? That you need a test for someone to tell you have it, because you don't feel sick.
And at the end of the day, we even don't know if the test works properly or not.
No, exactly. The false positive rate is huge. Anyway, basically, let's not get sidetracked onto that.
Yeah.
Okay. Jia Ying, back to you.
Okay. There's only one option.
Well,
The reorganization will totally transform the British entertainment industry.
okay. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. Okay. You're quite correct. However, pronunciation-wise, we say the reorganization.
Reorganization.
Yeah. Will totally transform.
Entertainment industry.
The reorganization will totally transform the British entertainment industry.
No. Entertainment industry.
Entertainment.
Entertainment
Entertainment.
industry.
Okay. Entertainment industry.
Entertainment industry.
Okay. So basically, we use the word transform when we mean we'll still have a British entertainment industry. It's about its character which will change.
Kind of different form, is it?
Yes, indeed. It will still be there. It will still be what it was before, but it will be exhibiting different characteristics, which is why we use the same term when we talk about people transforming from male to female. It's still the same person that it was before, but the characteristics that they display are very different. So they transform.
So we can say about the like theaters or because they went online, so we can say it's kind of transformed, the corona transformed the industry.
Exactly. Yeah. Our meetups have transformed, haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
You and I used to meet in the Barbican.
Yeah.
Face to face. Can you remember those days? It seems like years ago now.
Happy days gone, man.
Happy days, you know. And in fact, you know, I basically started the meetup group because at that time I was doing a lot of my teaching work online. So it was nice to have a human interaction with people and teach people face to face. Now the bloody meetup group's gone online. What am I doing it for? It's the same.
There are some winners and losers of the situation, because the people who've got offices down the city, if they don't need to hire the places, they're gonna save a lot of chunk of money.
Yeah, indeed.
But at the same time, all high street gonna go, like, you know, the coffee shops and everything.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. It's actually been quite good for my business, because now that a lot of people are working from home, because they're saving time on commuting and things, they've got more time for studying English.
Yeah.
So I can usually people would only if we're having face-to-face classes, they could only take their classes at the weekend or in the evenings. But now if they're working from home, they can kind of take an hour off in the middle of the morning, have a lesson, and then get back to work again. So it's actually been quite good for my business.
Yes.
But I miss the face-to-face interaction. I like teaching online. It's quite good and it's very effective, I think.
Yeah.
It's very convenient for both me and the student. But I still like actually being people. You know,
it's like you can record it, the meeting.
Yeah, I can record it. I can send the materials very easily. There's lots of advantages.
Yeah.
But something quite nice about just sitting with human beings. You know, you're a sociable animal. It's actually something quite nice about just being around people. So I kind of miss that. But as you say, it's, you know, pros and cons. Okay, let's try and get another slide done before we finish. Okay, so some more collocations. Okay. Now, I'm giving you this first word, Jia Ying, because I know it's going to be something of a challenge pronunciation-wise for you. Okay, what's that first word?
Fluctuate.
Okay, fluctuate.
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 Good. Now, can you hear?
Fluctuate.
Can you hear of those what we call an intrusion sound? There's a sound there which is not being represented by any, excuse me, by any of the letters. Which is, if you listen very carefully, there's a w sound, a w, as if there was a W in the word. Because I don't say fluctuate, I say fluctuate, fluctuate.
Wait. Fluctuate.
Good, that's much better. Okay.
Fluctuate.
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 Yeah. And the next word, math check.
Develop.
Okay. So this is like pronounced like an it. So develop.
Develop.
Developed.
Okay. The next word.
Revise.
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 Good. Okay. And the next word.
Convert.
Okay. Make this a schwa. Not convert, but convert.
Convert.
Good. Okay. And the next one.
Evolve.
Not evolve. We pronounce it like an I. Evolve.
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 Yeah. Evolve.
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 Oh, Ying. I need to hear a lot in here. You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing evolve. Evolve. Yeah. Well, I need to be hearing this la. Evolve. La 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 la.
La.
Evolve.
Evolve.
Oh,
Evolve.
okay. That's a little bit of a challenge for you. We need to do some strict pronunciation practice on that. Yeah. Okay, so Maciek, number 6, please.
They live in a windmill.
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 A windmill.
They
Windmill.
they live in a convert.
Windmill. What's a windmill?
It's on a farm that with the
Produce power.
produce power or something. Or
Yeah, not so much. We used to have them in England in the Middle Ages, but they're still very, very, very popular in Holland. Whenever you think of Holland, you think of these windmills. Yeah.
and right now it's all about the green power, right?
Except if we're being pedantic, if we're being very correct, we
Wind.
don't call those a windmill. We call those a wind turbine.
Wind turbine.
Turbine.
Yeah, because a mill is specifically for grinding flour.
Yeah, green power.
Yeah, you put the wheat in, you grind it, and makes the flour. So a thing that's making power, it's not a mill, it's not grinding anything. So it's a wind turbine. Okay. And when we put a lot of these things together, these wind turbines, we call them a wind farm.
Yeah, wind farm. Yeah.
We're harvesting the power from these things. Okay. So what kind of a windmill? What did they do with the windmill?
Converted.
Exactly. They converted the windmill. So it used to be a windmill and they turned it into a house. Yeah. So they changed the purpose. Another expression we can use for that is we can say it has been repurposed.
Repurposed.
Yeah. You might say, for example, the old warehouses in the east of London have been repurposed as posh apartments. Okay. Good. Number 7, please, Jay.
Okay. How do you know that humans evolved from apes?
Okay. You love that word, don't you? Evolved.
Evolve. That's
Okay.
challenging.
Yeah, really. You need a specific pronunciation lesson on that distinction.
Yes.
Okay, so what's most characteristic about the kind of change that happens when we say evolves?
Evolution is like your body's adapting to the situation, to the environment, but changing parts of your body. I mean.
Yes, indeed. But the most important thing is, it's not one big change. It's lots of very, very, very tiny changes. But each change is very, very, very small. but there are billions and billions and billions of them. So eventually it evolves into a very big change, but it's not one big change. It's a very, very long series of lots of very, very small changes. Yeah.
Like accumulate the small changes to
Well,
the
you
big
say that
change.
changes are accumulative.
Accumulative, yes.
Yes, accumulative changes. And also, there's another aspect to it, and that also, it's always about getting better.
Okay.
Yeah, when something evolves, it changes in lots of very, very small steps, but towards a positive conclusion.
Could we say it involved in wrong direction or something like that?
No.
As a sarcasm or something, I don't know.
Yes, I mean you could, if if you were kind of making a joke, if you're being ironic, you could say, yeah, well, it's evolving in the wrong direction, but that in itself is actually quite contradictory. Yeah. To evolve means to get better over a series of times. But the opposite, to devolve, doesn't mean to get worse. To devolve means to go from a central authority into more local authorities. So we used to rule the United Kingdom exclusively from Westminster, but now we've devolved the parliaments. So they have a parliament in Scotland, they have a parliament in Wales, and they have a parliament in Northern Ireland.
They're saying a lot, devolve the power or something like that.
Yes, devolved power. It means to go from a central power to more regional powers. It's one of those examples of where the opposite isn't necessarily the same as the positive. Yeah. So, yeah, okay. And, well, again, that's another subject we could go into in much greater depth, because various opposites can be a little bit confusing. So we have ability, but the opposite isn't necessarily disability. It can be inability. And we have interested, we have disinterested, and we have uninterested, but they don't necessarily mean the same things. But again, that's a subject for a different discussion. Okay. Maciek, number 8, please.
That's a tricky one for me. Vegetable prices.
We should really say it just like with 2 syllables. Vegetable.
Vegetable.
Yeah. Not vegetable. Yeah, just simply vegetable.
Vegetable prices fluctuated according to the season.
Okay, it's not fluctuated, they fluctuate according to the season. The present simple tense, because it means not one season or the next season, but every season.
Yeah.
Okay, and when we're describing every season, we use the present simple tense, which is why we always use the present simple tense with adverbs of frequency. So we say, I always walk to work. I sometimes walk to work. I seldom walk to work. Okay, we always use the simple tense when we're describing something which is a repeated habit. Okay. Jane, number 9, please.
Okay. The bank manager asked them to revise their sales focus 3 times. Okay,
yes. Revise. What's kind of interesting about? Oh, sorry, we should have said. What does to fluctuate mean?
It means to.
The prices are up and down.
Up and down, yes.
Up and down, up and down. It's not changing one single direction. It's
up, really changeable.
Down, up and down. Yeah. Okay. Good. So, but to revise their sales forecasts.
It's like go through their sales and see what's going on.
Yeah, kind of go through again and look for mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of correct errors. When you revise something, you look, and it's normally connected with the idea of finding mistakes.
So this is why we're doing revisions in English.
Exactly. Yeah. Visions are where you look at what you've done, realize what was wrong with it, and then change it to make it better.
This is what I'm going to do after this lesson. See what's up.
I hope so. Yes, indeed. Well, of course, if you attend the meet, I'll send you the PowerPoint at the end, as I always do. Yeah. Jie-Ying, if you want a copy of the presentation, please send me an email.
Okay.
And I'll attach it to the email. Yeah.
What started out as a short story eventually developed into a full-scale novel.
Good. Developed into a full-scale novel.
Developed.
So when something develops, it doesn't just change. It changes in that it gets bigger, or it gets wider in its scope, or it gets more intricate, it gets more detailed.
This is why we called estate development, is it?
Exactly. Exactly that. Yes, indeed. And it always describes positive change.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about the negative change?
Except. In English, there's always an exception. Okay, there's always an exception. So it always describes positive change, except when we're talking about disease.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can say, yeah, he started off with a natural nasty flu, and it developed into pneumonia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's still kind of, well, if you like, that's a positive change from the disease's point of view. It's not a positive change from your point of view, but from the disease's point of view, it's getting better, it's getting stronger.
The point of view is different, depends on where you're sitting on it.
Yes, indeed, you know, like all of these things, it depends on your point of view. Where are we?
How to describe the negative change?
Regressed.
Regress. Okay.
Okay, so we're pretty much out of time.